What's going on, everybody? Dash Michaels here, and welcome to another episode of the Shorts and Hoodies podcast. Wake up there, Jared.
Jared waited till you started to yawn.
I didn't mean to do it. I didn't mean to do it.
Psychological.
It is the last day of 2021.
Good riddance.
I said 2012 earlier, and I was like, what the hell? Damn.
It feels like it's been since 2012 that we've been stuck in this.
Damn. Oh, please stop. Please stop. Thank you. Sorry. My apologies.
Harambe.
I know, right?
Ooh.
Starting the show off in a professional manner.
I know, right?
I know.
Today is the last show of the year. We're moving into 2022. So today we are doing our top 10 best of 2021, including all movies that came out this year and TV shows. How did you do with your list, you guys?
Well, I found out that I did not watch much that was new in this year. So there is not a ton of things for me to pick from because I mostly spent a lot of time catching up on stuff, greats of the past that I had not seen before. So a lot of the new stuff is small but mighty.
Gotcha. I went an interesting route. I did my top 5 movies and my top 5 TV shows because you said we could mix all those together.
Right.
And I feel like it kind of fell into place. Like this is legitimately how I would rank it. So I don't know. Dash, what about you, big guy?
I didn't watch a lot of TV this year. I didn't. And I don't know.
You rewatched How I Met Your Mother for the 19th time.
I'm not that high up there yet. It's only like 16 or 17 times.
Oh, excuse me.
Oh,
I am due to watch it again. It has been a while. No, I usually, so when it comes to TV shows, I don't like to watch any shows that are still on the air. Like any TV shows, and I'll preface it by saying TV or specify it by saying TV over like streaming. Like if a show comes out, like I'll go ahead and say for today, since it is Friday, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, Cobra Kai season 4 comes out today, and I cannot wait because I'm going to get up hella early and watch that before I go out and drive for New Year's Eve and pick up all the drunks and the hoops and hollers of the night.
Big money day for Uber drivers.
Yeah. So, but having said that, I found that I watched a good bit of TV since the pandemic really, since everything went in lockdown in 2020 in March. I watched a lot of TV, but not a lot made it into my top 10. I think maybe 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 5. I had 5 shows that made my top 10, and I didn't even do it the way Jared did it. I just kind of was like, oh, that was a great show. That was a great show. That was a great show. And just kind of ranked it that way. So, yeah.
I have 6. Well, I just looked and I have 6 TV shows on mine. So, yeah.
Okay.
Kind of even.
So, let's see how many Dash hasn't seen yet. Stephanie, why don't you kick us off with your number 10?
10. All right. My number 10. This is going to be my first of many entries from the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but this is one that I did not catch in the theaters because I did not go into the theaters, but I did see when it came on to Disney Plus, and that is Shang-Chi. I thought this movie was fantastic. The fight choreography, especially, is my favorite part. I mean, I love my Asian cinema, my martial arts epics. So this definitely had a lot of that itch that it scratched for me and seeing a good martial arts epic. Simu Liu, the lead, is a very, very charming guy. Awkwafina is very funny. And of course, I'm a basic girl. If you put Michelle Yeoh in something, I will watch it. And she was wonderful in this. Just rewatched the ending recently again. Looks really, it's kind of an interesting ending. The special effects look really, really cool. And I just think it's a nice entry. I hope you see more of Simu Liu's Shang-Chi in future movies. I know we will, of course we will, but look forward to doing that. So I like this movie a lot. I don't know if you guys saw this Shang-Chi, right? Did you like this movie?
Yeah.
Isn't she? Oh, sorry, Dash.
I didn't see it in theaters. I saw it on Disney Plus as well. And I've been super excited to see this movie ever since it was announced, but not knowing too much about, the legend of Shang-Chi.
Me either.
And, Fu Manchu, if you will, from the comics and all that stuff. but starting to learn more about it, I got hyped up even more. I mean, the whole 10 Rings goes back to Iron Man.
Iron Man 1, yeah. It was an interesting way of kind of, they brought in that Marvel short where Trevor got busted out of prison. If you guys saw that, they kind of brought that back and brought Trevor back in. Kind of redeems Iron Man 3 a little bit, which is not one of my favorite of the MCU personally. But this one kind of redeems it by having like a twist on Trevor. And, that is a fun character, just regardless of the twist in Iron Man 3. That is kind of a fun character.
I loved Iron Man 3. I really did.
Did you?
Yeah, I thought it made Tony, I don't know, like an everyday guy. Being able to see the way he interacted with the kid and all that stuff.
2/3 of it I liked. The third act was ridiculous, and it just kind of ruined it for me. But for me personally, if you liked it, I totally see why you like it. It's a Shane Black movie. It's a great Shane Black movie. Wasn't my favorite MCU movie, but Shang-Chi looked great. Had cool characters. I like his sister. I thought she was a pretty cool character. His father was cool. It's a sad story. Made me cry at one point. So the Jared ding for me. Made me cry. So you do that. It's a good movie for me. So my number 10.
Isn't I was gonna say like the mom she's in the new Witcher series that is supposed to be coming out in 2022. She is playing, I think, a mage or somebody like that, who's, if I'm not mistaken,
talking about Michelle Yeoh being in the Blood Origins of Witcher.
Did I mess up another character?
No, Michelle Yeoh was his grandmother, technically.
Oh, his grandmother.
Yeah,
okay.
So you're close. You're just one level up. But yeah, she is going to be in Blood Origins. Yeah, which I'm looking forward to that very much. Yes. I'm
thoroughly excited. But yeah, that was my little tidbit, because it was like, I remember her from a movie. So. Of
course, she's wonderful in Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. She's beautiful in that movie.
Very good.
She's great in, which is the Bond movie that she's in. Is that Tomorrow Never Dies? Is that Michelle Yeoh as the Bond girl? Something about the news. It's the one set in China, so it's one with her. She's great as that. Except she kisses Bond at the end, which I was always mad about. Like, no, man. You know how many STDs that guy has? No, thank you.
MI6 came out and was like, Bond would never be in MI6. He's horrible.
Probably not. He's a terrible spy.
Yeah, he is.
Terrible. All right, Jared, let's go to your number 10.
So this is kind of a blanket statement. The Disney Plus Marvel everything.
Okay.
That was like my fear, was like, I'm gonna hear a lot of Disney Plus stuff, like a lot of Disney this, Disney that, and I was like, you know what, fuck it, here's a blanket statement: the Disney Plus Marvel, whatever you want to call it.
So TVs,
TVs and movies, yeah.
Okay.
You know it, I know it, everybody knows it. Like Spider-Man, everybody knows that they've been putting out blockbuster after blockbuster after blockbuster, and I was like, I'm not gonna shy away from it. So here's my one coverall. That was kind of how I dealt with Disney, this is where it starts to get me a little, I know I've talked about it before with you guys, but that burnout, just Disney after Disney after Disney and Marvel. I'm like, all right, let's calm our tits down here. Let's bring it back.
So let me ask you
Give
this.
me more.
What was your favorite of the TV shows? Because we got 4 of them this year.
Yeah, and some of them didn't make my list.
Same.
I just liked them all. They were just like, independently, they were all just great stories. I can't just be like, oh, I like the Loki one better than WandaVision and Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Like, it was just, each one of them told a great story along the way. Like, if I had to pick,
you have to.
It would be Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Okay.
I did like that one a lot.
I liked it. I thought it was
it should have been a movie.
Yeah.
Felt like it should have been a movie. And
I thought
Eternals,
it was a little heavy for a TV show. That's what it was. Yeah. I thought it would have been better to take some parts out and stretch more of the other parts. Would have been nice. But I love the costume. God, I love the costume.
Looked great. Looked really great.
I just love how they like super humanized everybody. Where you're just like, no, this is totally not what you think it is at all on any level.
Good stuff. Their chemistry too. Sebastian Stan and what's his name?
Good. Anthony Mackie.
Thank you, Anthony Mackie. Their chemistry, such a bromance. It's so good.
Yeah.
Ash.
Not a show that made my list, and it surprises me because Winter Soldier was my favorite MCU film, And it goes back to what you said, Stephanie. It's the chemistry between the two of them that I looked forward to the show, and I don't want to say it disappointed me.
It was okay.
I don't know if I would have gone that direction. It was cool to see Baron Zemo in a mask for 5 seconds.
That was good.
But that was it. Anyways, my number 10 is my first TV show that will be on this list. This comes to us from the Stars Network. Stars a little character or a little actor named Stephen Amell. This is the wrestling TV show Heels. If you have not seen this, it is an incredibly written show. If you're a fan of pro wrestling, if you're a fan of pro wrestling, say at an indie level, it is probably one of the best TV shows I've ever seen. The way it's written and the characters are so good, and then to bring in real wrestlers like CM Punk, who's one of my favorites, to play these just crazy indie wrestlers with their gimmicks and everything was really cool. If you don't know what the show's about, it's roughly the dad has a wrestling organization, passes away, and gives it to his son, the oldest. It's two brothers that are kind of pitted against each other. One's a heel, one's a face. That means one's a good guy, one's a bad guy. And Stephen Amell plays the older brother, and it's just it's great chemistry. It's great casting as well. Definitely should check it out if you have the Stars channel.
I have to watch it so I can see more Bjorn Ironsides with his shirt off. Not to be sexist, but I do love that actor quite a bit. I loved him in Vikings, and it's on my list to watch. Is that show? Not just physically, he's a great actor too. He's also a good singer. If you didn't know that,
does he have an? I want to say there's an episode where he sings a little bit.
Is there? Oh, good, because he's a good musician.
Because they both play like a good guy and a bad guy throughout the first season, and he's such a good bad guy. But he's a really good guy, like in real life on the show. Like his character is a heel, but he is a really good person. He's just lost. But then they flip it, and it's like, both of the characters go back and forth between heel and face and stuff. Yeah. Really good show. Should check it out if you haven't seen it.
Is it high-paced wrestling?
What do you mean? Like fast?
Yeah. Is it quick?
Not a lot of it is, no. It's to me, the best part of wrestling. It focuses a lot on the promo.
Okay.
And so that's my absolute favorite. Like, it's the drum roll before you get to like the big matches and stuff. All the
foreplay.
The foreplay, if you will. But some of the matches are really quick. Like, there's a couple high flyers on there, and they're really good. Whoever choreographed it, they did a really good job. I mean, Stephen Amell himself is a huge wrestling fan. He's appeared on WWE many times and had matches at SummerSlam and WrestleMania and stuff. So for him to take that love of something that he's grown up watching, to become a part of it, and then to take his love for it and give something back to the fans and the wrestlers that he's worked with and bring them into, it's really cool. Like, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right, Stephanie, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, I hated the old matches where they'd run out of steam so fast, and it's just like, there's no, bro. I've been fatter and way more out of shape than you, and I have more gas in the tank.
There's a couple of times that it's like that, because I mean, it does touch on like the stereotypes that you get from that. You get a little bit of everything with the show. Okay. It's not just like brother versus brother, because there's other wrestlers too.
Yeah,
but at the same time, you have that. It does take that. Like, there's some episodes that they only focus on the brothers. And I mean, you get that too when you watch, say, AEW or WWE, to where you're going, hey, what about those other wrestlers? Why are we focusing so much on Roman Reigns, or why are we focusing so much on, Kenny Omega or whatever? I want to see some of the lower ones, because those mid cards, those are what, keep that show going too.
Yeah.
So anyways, that's my number 10, Heels. If you haven't seen it, like I said, it's on Stars. Stephanie, take us into your number 9.
All right, my number 9 is going to be yet another entry into the MCU. Sorry, Jared. I love this stuff. So this is going to be the wonderful multiverse breaking show, which was What If? I really liked this show. This is definitely a show that was for the uber fan of the MCU because it played so much on your knowledge of the MCU, building into the episodes, just going from the very first episode of Peggy Carter becoming Captain Carter instead of Steve Rogers becoming Captain America. It was a violent show. If you take out any blood, right? It didn't show a lot of blood in the show, but a very violent show with a lot of cool fight scenes, cool fight choreography. But Peggy having the shield. And my favorite part of the zombies episode was really fun, and Thor and Loki kind of being a little bit different in their relationship is very fun, and having Chris Hemsworth be Thor be far more comedic than he kind of gets to be even in Thor Ragnarok was really fun. But the best part of it was, which we're going to see more of in Doctor Strange, the Multiverse of Madness, Doctor Strange, the Stephen Strange that lost his heart instead of his hands, where in that multiverse, he lost Rachel McAdams' character instead of losing his hands. You spent the entire episode trying to get her back, iteration after iteration after iteration, and eventually let in this monster that I think is Shio-Gorath from the comics. Let that monster in, and we see that monster in the trailer for Multiverse of Madness. So it's really going to play into Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, and this Doctor Strange at the end having to help the Watcher kind of contain what there's the other episode of Ultron winning and actually getting the Infinity Gauntlet, cutting Thanos right in half the minute he shows up, which is like, yeah, why didn't Vision do that when Thanos showed up? You just with the Mind Stone, cut it right in half. It was just such cool interplay. I mean, unfortunately, COVID, there was one episode that was supposed to have Gamora that they ended up not being able to finish. You still saw Gamora in the finale, but you didn't get to have a whole lot of backstory of her being more of an Iron Man-ish character in her multiverse, which we'll see next season, which would be interesting how they fit that back in. But such a fun way of exploring the MCU, such a fun way of taking a comic that exists, the What If comic, and putting it into animation. The animation itself looked really cool, kind of the rotoscope look. So it was really neat. It was really creative foray into the MCU, which is going to bear fruit in future movies. So What If? I liked it a lot.
Very cool.
It was an excellent series. It was very, very well written.
Really cool. It was really cool. Did you have a favorite episode, Jared? I know you didn't watch it, Dash, but did you have a favorite episode, Jared? Or when you remember?
No, yeah, it's there. The Ravager episode where the Ravager
T'Challa as a Ravager. That was great. That one was great nice. To hear Chadwick Boseman's voice one last time. It was really hard to hear his voice because it was making me tear up and get a little bit clamped the whole time. I wish that guy didn't die. Some cancer takes the wrong people all the time.
When I knew that it was him in the speaking parts, like I could almost feel how soft spoken he was about everything. And you're like, yeah, I give you love to the craft, bud, but you should just rested for the rest of your life. You shouldn't have been trying to pump something out, man. I give him props for it.
I think he knew he didn't have much time and he wanted to get as much as he could. I mean, I see what you're saying, but he wanted to get as much out as he could while he could. He knew for years he was going. Burn your candle till you're gone, right? That's one way to go.
He did an excellent job, though.
I'm gonna have to check it out before Doctor Strange 2 comes out.
You will.
It's so worth it.
It's really good. Jeffrey Tambor not Jeffrey Tambor. That's a totally different guy. Jeffrey. Oh no, I didn't look up and do any research before this episode, so my brain is bleh. The guy who played the Watcher has been in a lot of other stuff. I can't think of his name right now, but he was really great. Hopefully, see him.
We're gonna go with that now. Jeffrey Tambor is playing.
No, I would love Jeffrey Tambor as the Watcher. That'd be really weird. Totally different character. He'll pop up in an MCU eventually. Every actor eventually will be in an MCU something because their agents say they have to.
I'm just waiting for Henry Cavill to show up.
Geralt of Rivia in the MCU. Why not? All right. So there's my number 9. Oops, that way.
There we go. Jared. This is another TV show. This is off of Amazon Prime. The Invincible.
I forgot that was this year. Shoot, That would have been my list too. I loved this show. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're fine. Basically, Superman turned up with blood and gore, a whole lot of just evilness, just basically count me in. It was a great animated series. I like how the only drawback though is the dude that like the main character, his name is Invincible. I mean, he lives up to it, but he just gets the shit kicked out of him constantly, and it's like, come on, bud, like you haven't learned how to fight by now. Like, come on, big guy.
J.K.
like
Simmons is his dad. Oh my
Yeah.
god.
That's like the only drawback of the movie is that like everything kind of lives up to the hype. It's just that he keeps getting the shit kicked out of him, and you're like, you would think by like month 4 or 5 you would kind of have this fighting thing down, and he doesn't. Like, he just keeps getting his ass kicked, and like it's even brutal that the ending is brutal.
So brutal with him and his, oh my god, so freaking brutal. And then the one character that shows up that's voiced by Michael Dorn,
Yeah,
absolutely kicks his ass.
It's fucking I just wish that he would learn how to fight. Like, I'm really hoping in season 2, if they do come out with a season 2, that he learns how to fucking fight, because otherwise it's going to take an insane nosedive for me.
Well, I think they adapted the first 2 books of the Invincible line, so they kind of skipped over everything. Like, in the very first episode is everything from the first few runs of the whatever you call them, the first books, like 1 through 6 or 7, whatever, leading up to the team. And then they kind of did 2 after that. So 3, 4, I'm sure he becomes much more what he is in the comics.
I would hope so, because that was just, I'm all down for a little bit of blood and gore and violence, but like, come on, bud, get it together. You got this here. Let's not just get our ass kicked constantly. So I was almost feeling bad. Like, as long as he goes upwards, that's all that we're gonna be golden. We'll keep going. And speaking of trending, let's go downwards. Dash. Nobody got it.
I didn't see the Invincible.
I'm really annoyed that I forgot this came out this year, because I would definitely have had this on my list. I won't put it on there now because I won't be a Dash, but that show was.
Whoa.
No offense, buddy. No offense.
Click, clack, boom.
I didn't mean it as a bad thing. I
she
meant,
see how she did that. She said no offense after I was offended.
That's called shots fired.
Do that before. You have to be like, no offense, I'm not going to pull a Dash. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink.
I meant
nudge,
it as
nudge,
if
wink,
you
wink.
have your thing and I don't want to crib your style, bro. That's what I meant.
Whatever.
I didn't mean it like that. I'm sorry.
Click, clack, boom. Shots fucking fired.
My number 9 is what I'm going to do to Stephanie, is blow her up like tick, tick, boom.
Boom.
That is my number 9, tick, tick, boom. If you haven't seen it, it is the story of pretty much Jonathan Larson, the creator of Rent. This is 2 or 3 shows before he got to Rent, and it's kind of a coming of age, trying to find myself story. It is a great musical. Jonathan Larson, one of the most gifted musical playwrights that shaped the 2000s and late 90s, 2000s, in my opinion at least. Really got to see through his friends' eyes and living in the area of what it was like to grow up New York City with AIDS. It was a big epidemic.
I was not giggling at that. I'm sorry, Dash.
Oh no, I didn't even say.
Okay, yeah. Sorry.
For people who don't know Jonathan Larson, he, like you said, he created Rent. Opening night happened, and then he passed away opening night of Rent.
Did he at least get to see a show?
The one time, that was it. He saw it opening night, went home, and died.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a sad thing. I have the book that goes all the way back to Tick Tick Boom, and so whenever I heard of all people, Andrew Garfield, who, as you know, is one of my absolute favorite people in this world, it was going to play. Andrew Garfield's had a hell of a year.
He's had a hell of a career in general.
Spider-Man, Tick Tick Boom. What was it? The Eyes of Tammy Faye.
Eyes of Tammy Faye.
I mean, the dude. I mean, he's just an amazing actor. But to hear Andrew Garfield sing was interesting. It was directed by Lin-Manuel Miranda, the Hamilton man in The Heights. Vanessa Hudgens in it. She has a small part as one of the singers, and her, of course, I mean, her voice is beautiful. But it's just a great story. And there's one scene in particular that takes place at the diner, and it's kind of like just like this weird. It's a weird scene. It's like it's not real because like the walls fall down and like there's like floating involved. It's very like a musical type of number. But there are so many Broadway stars in this movie, in that one song that kind of came together to kind of pay tribute to Jonathan in this movie. And it was just it's a great movie. So if you have not seen it, I do highly recommend it. It is on Netflix. Tick, tick, boom. He's my number 9.
Awesome.
I like him.
And it's way better than the musical in Hawkeye.
Oh, yeah.
Can we talk about that real quick? Oh my God, that's
that
awful.
That's loved awful. It though.
Did you? God, it's awful.
Because it was so
awful
and cheesy, and I think my favorite thing is getting on TikTok and everybody's like, "Why was Hawkeye there?" I was like, "It's what musicals do. This is their way to kind of take a liberty of it, you know. It's the same way kind of Hamilton changed some things, the way that a lot of musicals change things, and Ant-Man in that one was the cute, you know."
Asian guy
looking character, yeah.
But I mean, it highlights the fact that Jonathan Larson's music, I mean, that's what musical theater, I mean, that's what good musical theater sounds like. In Hawkeye, it was, I think, intentionally bad. But Jonathan Larson, I mean, the way that he wrote lyrics was so beautiful. In my school, every year we had to sing 525,600 minutes. It's a gorgeous song, and the way that he used the lyrics with the melody is so beautiful. I definitely need to see that movie. I'm sad that I haven't seen it.
It was
my family's not big on musicals.
It's crazy that it came at a time where Stephen Sondheim just passed away, and
crazy.
What's his name? Bradley, starts with a W. Bradley,
Whitford?
Yeah,
no,
plays
Bradley Whitford.
Plays Stephen Sondheim in the movie.
Oh.
And then he just passed away, and I was just like, oh, that's kind of like
all of our legends. Somebody protects Stephen Schwartz. He has to live forever.
All right, Stephanie, what is your number 8?
All right, my number 8. You just mentioned this gentleman, the lead actor in my number 8 selection. The season 2 just came out here on Netflix. I have not finished watching season 2, but I am a massive fan of The Witcher 3. This is The Witcher season 2, starring the man of my heartbeat, Mr. Henry Cavill, because of his brain. Yes, he's nice to look at too, but he's also an incredibly intelligent. I mean that for real. He actually is a very intelligent guy. He's very funny as well. I mean, looks are one thing, but him and Jason Momoa, if you have looks are nice, but it's the brain and the wit, that's what gets me, right? Sure. The show's great. First off, the very first episode of season 2 had Christopher Hivju, aka Torment Giantsbane, as this crazy boar character with this boar curse that was so fun. It's like, I recognize that voice. And then when something happens and becomes him as a human, I'm like, oh, hey, that's Tormund. Great. It's my husband's doppelganger. Super fun. I loved season 1. Everyone, of course, knows "Toss a Coin to Your Witcher." It's a very fun song, and it made the rounds, becoming very viral. There's another, I think, very viral earworm in season 2, which is really fun. Jaskier is a fun play on Dandelion from the games. And I played the crap out of Witcher 3. And this show has had my hands itching to play it again, which is very dangerous, because if I start playing Witcher, 95 hours later, I'm still there in front of the television. So I have to kind of resist doing that. But it looks great. It's a cool mythology. The books by Andrzej Sapkowski, I've read a little bit of those, and they're really fun plays on fairy tales, very Polish telling of these fairy tales, very dark, very much in the Game of Thrones vein of fantasy. And I love fantasy. I think even you would like this, because there's a lot of swearing, a lot of sex and boobs and that sort of Game of Thrones stuff. But not that you like it because of that, Dash. But it's a gritty, dark somewhat realistic take on the fantasy genre. So I think someone like you who doesn't particularly care for fantasy and a lot of iterations would probably like the show, possibly. I don't know. The first season kind of had a weird.
I hear that a lot too. That I would
Yeah.
like it because I mean it's Henry Cavill. I mean the guy.
Yeah.
Is fucking ugly. I mean
he's so ugly. I know.
Yeah.
But he overcomes that, I think, with his acting ability and his intelligence.
Yeah.
He definitely did not skip leg day in season 2. He's got the most massive legs I've ever seen on a gentleman in any movie who can still walk. So it's impressive.
Also, The Witcher 3 is on sale for like $5.99 or something like that on the Steam.
What a steal!
Yeah, it's like 85% off on Steam.
Wow.
Through January 5th.
Wow, get on that, folks. That is an absolute steal. Is that including all the DLC?
I think it's like $15. I can actually check real fast.
Wow, because I love the extra stories that come in Witcher 3.
Yeah. And Witcher 3, The Wild Hunt is $7.99.
That's just the game.
So the extra
Blood and Wine, and I forget what the other one's called.
So for the game of the Year edition is $9.99. And then with all of the DLCs, the Witcher Trilogy bundle actually is $11.22.
That's a bargain.
Yeah, you're pretty much getting the game for absolutely next to nothing with everything in it. And
yeah, I wish so season 2 does kind of play into some of the things that The Witcher 3 touches on, with Ciri and her the latent gene that her bloodline carries and all that sort of stuff, and Lara Doran and the idea of the elder blood and all that stuff is in this season. I don't know how it ends, but I did see the Wild Hunt does show up at one point. So I love this show. I love it. So that's
it
my
ends
number
on
8.
a pretty cool note.
Ooh, don't spoil it for me.
No, I'm not spoiling shit. You'll know exactly what I think about it when it comes up.
I see.
You're very much going to be like, oh, I know what Jared thinks.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Like, I like the way that they set it up for The Witcher season 3.
It'll definitely be happening for sure. So let's go to your number 8, sir.
Love, Death, and Robots.
That is good.
Yeah.
They had a new season this year. That's right. I forgot.
Yeah, Dash. What was that like for, big guy?
Don't even know what you're talking about.
So this is a Netflix series called Love, Death, and Robots. The first one was amazing. First one was absolutely amazing. It's not a series. It's not like a continuation of anything. It is literally just a whole bunch of
vignettes.
This is what I wrote here. This is like the perfect amalgamation of tell this story in your own way through your own art style, and it has to be centered around one of 3 things: love, death, or robots. And they do an amazing, phenomenal way. I remember season 2 was pretty much announced like that after the season 1 came out. Like there's a nifty little thing there, like where my season 1 was not like Stephanie's and it was not like Dash's, because it came out all in random order. I thought that was super dope because it's like, oh my God, did you see season 1, honey? And she's like, I did. It's amazing. And then we talked about these 2 episodes. Like, that was episode 3. And she's like, no, that was episode 1. And it was like, all right, that's fair. But yeah, I think it's great. And then doesn't season 1 have what's his name in it? John Oliver. Isn't John Oliver a cat in season 1?
I missed that. If that's so, every episode that was. It's a long time since I watched season 1 when it first came out, so it's been a while since I've seen it.
I'm almost like 100% sure he's the cat when the cats and the robots take over the world in that one episode.
I mean, that was a very British cat, so I thought it was somebody maybe doing an Oliver impression.
Yeah, I feel like he would be the kind of guy that like, hey, John Oliver, we want you. Yes,
sure.
Well, we haven't told you. I'm in. I feel like that's the kind of guy he's in. But yeah, Love, Death, and Robots. It takes my number 3 spot for the TV series.
Such awesome, man. I mean, every episode, the art style being so different is so cool. It's a great way to tell a story. Little individual short stories.
The best episode, in my opinion, is number 2, the werewolf one. And then the very best of the best of the best is the beast fights.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Yeah, that was you want everything in there. So love, good. Sex, and robots.
So good.
Fucking Dash would like it. I know. I bet you any money.
He's a big fan of love, sex, and robots.
Yeah.
That's what my tombstone's gonna say. I don't know. This is my thing though. How you just explained that show, Jared, or how you just explained it to somebody like me who's never seen it, it literally just sounded like you were just making up shit because it was all over the place.
I know. It is
Yeah.
literally you're invested for like 20 minutes into an episode and you're like, oh, I wonder how they continue this. Nope. That was it. Just here's your short story. Fuck off with it and enjoy it.
Okay.
There's a dark fucking one though. Oh my God. There's a dark episode in there that is, yeah. I would never wish that upon my disregard. Maybe I would wish it upon my worst enemies. But speaking of dark and upon my worst enemies, Dash.
Oh, that's a good one because that one leads me into this one. That is very dark, and some would wish it upon their worst enemies. Some would not.
Syphilis.
Depending on how the outcome comes out.
Okay.
My number 8.
Wait. Stephanie's got to stop dying first.
You good over there?
It's really funny. Go ahead.
My number 8 for the best of 2021 was this year's Tiger King. This would be Netflix's Squid Game. One of the most addicting shows that I have seen, just as much as Tiger King season 1, not season 2. Season 1 Tiger King was so addicting and I could not stop it, and I wanted to watch it again once it was done. And that's how it was for me with Squid Game. The colors were so vibrant in the show, and that was one of my favorite things, between the pinks and the greens, and all the PlayStation people that were just running around, because they had like triangles.
Right. Yeah, I saw the pictures. Yeah.
Have you not seen it?
No, I had the same thing with Tiger King. Everybody says watch it. I'm like,
you haven't watched?
No.
You have Tiger King.
I don't wanna. And then Squid Game. Everyone's talking about Squid Game. Like, no, I don't wanna. I don't know why.
Tiger King for me is that hot gossip that you want to know what's gonna happen next because it's so dumpster fire.
Yeah,
that's so good. I mean, that's what Tiger King is for me. That's not saying that's what Squid Game was for me. Squid Game was just a
Squidward.
Yeah, Squidward. It was so addictive to me. Like I wanted to see the next game that they were going to play. To know who was going to die and who was going to live, and of course, just like any show, you become a little bit more invested in these characters. And I did not watch it in Korean. I did watch it in English because I can't read and watch at the same time. But it was a great show. Jared, did you see it?
Squid Game?
Yes.
No, I passed on that. Very hard pass.
Yeah.
Very hard pass.
Highly recommend it, y'all. I'm telling you.
See, I just did it because I like to go against the grain and be kind of a obstinate twit. But why did you not want to watch it, Jared? Just didn't look interesting.
Well, like, I've been very disappointed in the hype this year with Battlefield 2042, with Cyberpunk, and then most recently the new Matrix. Like, I think, because didn't Squid Game come out right around when like October-ish, right? Hasn't it been out for like a month or two?
September.
It's been out for a while, yeah.
Yeah. And I think that was right around the time that I was like super disappointed with Battlefield, where like they kept pushing it back and everyone was like, oh my God. I was like,
There's a reason why Squid Game is the number one thing that has been released by Netflix.
Well,
maybe I'll give it a
I'll have to catch it, but I'll watch it in Korean.
It definitely has, and then again, this is not to say that it has the feel of these other shows that I'm going to say, but like it has that, the way it flows very nice. It really does. It has that same flow of like Stranger Things, Umbrella Academy. The flow of the show is very smooth. The way it transitions from one thing, it's not too abrupt or anything like that. But it keeps your attention. It doesn't. It's not good for the first couple minutes, and then let's talk a lot, and then the last 3 minutes pulls you to the next episode. No, the whole episode's good.
Okay,
that's fair. That's fair.
With the exception of probably, I won't say anything. The last episode's kind of yeah, but it's good. It's a good show. Highly recommend. Stephanie, what is your number 7?
So speaking of shows that are in a different language, this is one show that is in Norwegian. This is another Netflix show. I took out my Mjolnir and I have my other Norse accoutrement, my poster of Amada Marth. I'm a big fan of Norse mythology. And there is a show on Netflix that was made in Norway, all in Norwegian. You can watch it in English too if you want to, but I prefer to watch it in Norwegian, called Ragnarok. It had its season 2 come out this year. Now, this show is kind of a modern retelling of Norse mythology where you have Magna and his brother Loritz, who Magna discovers that he is the reincarnation of Thor, has to go against this family called the Utils, which are the Jotuns. They are the giants of Norse mythology, the sworn enemies of the Asgardians, who own a company that is poisoning a town in Norway. And apparently this town is set upon the battlefield where the Asgardians, the Vanir, and the Jotuns battled in ancient days. And now it's coming around again, and Ragnarok is starting again. Season 2, Magna's brother Loritz discovers that he is half Jotun and half of his mother. So he's Loki, essentially. He is Loki. And he finds in Norse mythology, Loki is gender fluid. Loki can be both a male and a female. Loki gives birth in several occasions. So it actually plays upon that from the Norse mythology and this idea of gender fluidity that has existed for many hundreds of years in that mythology in a very interesting way. It's a very strange show. So I recommend it by saying, if you know it's going to be a little weird, because it's going to be a little strange, this show. And if you're cool with that, then you'll probably will like it, because it's interesting characters being kind of teenagers, but then this layer of Norse mythology on top of it. These Freya comes in at one point, and Odin comes in at one point, and Tyr comes in at one point to fight the Jotuns, and it's just interesting. It's a very interesting take on Norse mythology, and I really, really enjoyed the first season. Really enjoyed second season. We get to see some events come to play that'll come back in season 3 and the start of actual Ragnarok in this modern retelling. It's really good. I thought it's a really cool show. So Ragnarok, I suppose you guys haven't seen it, or nope, didn't think so. Yeah.
Like
those Norwegian shows.
200th retelling of Thor and Loki now.
Not like this. I promise you, not like this.
Okay.
It's very, very unique in the way that it's done. It's very interesting.
Okay.
But I'd like to know what the other 199 retellings of Thor and Loki are besides the Marvel Cinematic Universe, because I haven't seen them.
Yeah, that's where it was going. Marvel.
Well, I mean, Marvel is one way, but Marvel, that's not Norse mythology. I'm sorry. I mean, that's my main thing I didn't like about Thor Ragnarok was it's funny and jokey, but I mean, the Northmen coming out this April, I think, far more of a real Norse story, real bloody Viking battles, real, the mythology, hopefully we'll see behind it. The actual mythology is incredibly metal. And that's what I like about it. It's very much a humanistic set of stories as opposed to a faith system. So it's something that I'd like to see more realistic and more authentic versions of Norse mythology in pop culture. Thor's great, don't get me wrong, but Thor and Loki are not what they are in the actual Norse mythology.
Well, best of luck. I've been hoping for some very realistic movies for years now, and it's
maybe I'll just keeping my eyes out for them.
Yeah.
So, anyways, there's my number 7, Ragnarok. Let's go to you, Jared.
Oh, she did it right.
I had to think about that for a second.
That's right. Netflix again. Castlevania.
Oh yeah,
Castlevania. Yeah, you guys know what I'm talking about. Dracula, Alucard. Just I don't know. It's just it's awesome. It's kind of like an animated version of what The Witcher would be like if it was Dracula, though. I don't know. Cool. I thought it was dope. There was legit story, there was a legit character arcs in this series. I think this is one of the shows that I straight binged. I think there's 4 seasons or something like that, and I just couldn't get enough of it. My Netflix subscription was actually being canceled when I started watching this, and so I made it a point to finish it off. I would go nights where I'd watch 6-7 episodes a night just to make sure I finished it. Yeah, I know it's not the brightest idea in the world, but
not good for your sleep, but okay for your entertainment.
Oh god, I was so entertained.
It looked really cool. It's on my list to watch too. So many things in my Netflix queue I haven't watched yet. It's definitely on there.
The mage that he travels with has a beautiful arc. Like it's just it's so awesome to watch these characters actually evolve from where they were. And I just think it's a cool little storytelling. I mean, some of the acting is kind of weird. Some of the animation and acting is kind of weird, but it's muy bueno, as they say. Muy bueno.
Muy bueno.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That's all I really have to say about that. I don't have much to say. It's
You
Dracula.
just reminded me of a show on Netflix that I watched, so thank you for that.
Change something now?
No, I'm not going to change it. Just
change
added.
something?
No, I'm not going to pull a dash.
Oh, no offense.
No offense.
How do you mute and kick two people out of a Zoom meeting? That's my
I
question.
don't know. We're going to find out.
Dash, can I have co-host privileges, please, for a minute?
No.
Speaking of our host, Dash, you want to?
My number 7 is my first appearance from a Disney Plus television show. Only two shows made it on there. And this was something that was long awaited for me because I am such a fan of generational TV shows and what WandaVision brought to Family Ties, to Growing Pains, to Full House, to Malcolm in the Middle, to the Dick Van Dyke Show, to all of these shows, but a Marvel and WandaVision spin on it was so incredible. I'm a huge 80s and 90s person, so especially the Family Ties, Growing Pains, 80s years was my absolute favorite. And we finally got to see the two of them face off against each other, not to do any destruction, but that shot of them just up in the air looking at each other. And then, of course, the first time that we would get what we thought was going to be a crossover, which just turned out to be a bad boner joke. Thanks, Marvel.
Hey, man.
But to be able to see Evan Peters and us, to at least for 3 or 4 episodes go, it's him.
Mm-hmm.
It's not him. Oh, it's Mephisto. It's Mephisto. It's not Mephisto. And it still isn't yet. Okay, cool.
More Mephisted.
Yeah. Mephisto.
What was the boner joke?
His name is Ralph Boner.
Yeah.
Boner.
He was an actor named Ralph Boner. And they literally just do a boner joke. I mean, he wasn't Quicksilver, he wasn't Pietro at all, but like I said, for 2 or 3 episodes, it was nice to think that we were going to get a crossover, and in a sense, we did. I'll take what we got, minus the boner joke. But then to bring in Rambo, Spectrum was really badass. Agatha was just amazing. The song was great.
Don't underplay that song. That song's a effing banger.
Yeah, very Munsters-like. I'm excited that she's going to get her own show now too.
Interesting.
Yeah, be very cool. So yeah, that is my number 7. Not as high as my other Disney Plus show, which I'm sure
we can all guess.
Yeah.
It was. I was going to say something dumb there, but that's not Disney.
No. All right.
Sorry.
Number 6. Steph.
All right. My number 6, you guys, well, Dash maybe will crucify me for having it this low on the list, but looking at my other things that are on there, yeah, this is the right spot for this movie. Again, we're in the MCU. I'm a basic B, but hey, man, I didn't see anything else new besides the MCU. I'm loyal to the brand. I am a good little zombie, Disney. And this is Spider-Man No Way Home. This is my number 6. Yep. There are things I liked better than this movie. Sorry, Dash.
Dash, you're going to hate me, though. So just hang tight, bud.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
I mean, it's a great movie. It's an absolutely great movie. If I go back and think about the plot, I mean, they wrote Peter into a pretty tight spot story-wise, so we'll see how they get out of it in the next series of Spider-Man movies. What's that?
Damn, we're in a tight spot.
Exactly. I mean, it was great to see all of the other characters that were in there. I won't spoil it for those that left on the planet that haven't seen this movie yet, since it just crossed $1 billion already. I don't know how many people haven't seen this movie yet, but it was great to see
1 billion people in the world anyways, right?
No, 7 billion.
Jinx. I don't know those people.
So they don't matter.
They don't
matter. But it's a great movie. It's just not as high as some of the other things that I watched this year that I love even more. One, I'm sure you probably really will disagree with me on. We'll see when we get there. But it's still a great movie. It was still really fun. Zendaya was great. Jacob as his sidekick, which I can never Ned. There we go. I can't remember his dang name. And Benedict Cumberbatch. Will see the implications of what Doctor Strange did in the next Doctor Strange: The Multiverse of Madness, and why Mordo thinks he is playing with powers he does not understand, and why he is dangerous, and why he is the worst Avenger, according to some. Stephen Strange is. And we saw no Rhino, which thank God, because that was so dumb from Amazing Spider-Man 2. But overall, it's a great movie. So Spider-Man: No Way Home. It's about as good as you could possibly do that sort of a crossover event. We might see some more cameos in Doctor Strange: The Multiverse of Madness, according to recent stories with all the reshoots that are happening. We'll see how many more characters end up getting put into that movie because of how well Spider-Man did.
Characters, just bring them all in.
Bring them all in, man. It's a universe. Why not?
I'm gonna be so burned out on Marvel by the end of this thing. I can already tell.
Well, and you know who's not gonna care?
You
Kevin
guys.
Feige. No, I say Kevin Feige.
Oh. Yeah, I was gonna say all of our audience and everybody else who's not me. That's fair.
Well, you have other stuff. Lots of other things you can have all for yourself.
I don't have this already for myself because you already stole it.
Oh, okay.
The Witcher.
Okay.
The Witcher series. I like I told you guys, I did five TV shows and I did 5 movies. And I said, what better way than to put 5 TV series as the bottom 5? Because let's face it, TV is. It's not like, I mean, what's that meme? It's like Netflix is like, hey man, you want to watch a 6-hour movie? If you're like, what? No. Whoa. We do 6 episodes that are an hour. Oh, you gotcha. I'm in. And it's a really cool way to tell the story. But and I like how they're putting things out now that it's like, hey, Witcher 2 comes out tomorrow. Oh, when are the episodes dropping? Oh no, that's the fun part. They're all out. Mm-hmm. And you're like, oh, okay, let me just watch a 6-hour fucking movie then. So I think it's cool. Geralt is a beast. Ciri, I didn't know Ciri was 20.
Yeah, she looks very, very young.
Well, because they did that bath scene in the first episode, and I was like, I'm sorry, wait, what? Because I thought she was 14 or 15. I was like, that was grossly unnecessary.
She's older than that, yeah.
And then I had to Google it. And apparently, they started filming season 1 when she was 17, and now she's 20. I was like, oh, still a little gross for my opinion, because she's supposed to be 15 or something like that. But I don't know. It's just the whole series is just. It's good. Leading into the best DLC the game has ever had, bar none, of any of the fans that we talked to. And I just okay, I'm fucking game for it, because I did try to play the Witcher series. I couldn't do it. I couldn't. It's just too much for me. 1 and 2 controls are not very. I tried the same to play 1 and 2, and the controls are really buggy. It's hard to play 1 and 2. 3, a little less buggy. Well, when The Witcher first came out, all of a sudden they're like, "Hey, Steam sale," and I was like, "I will buy the entire Witcher series." And I tried to play 1, tried to play 2, and then when I picked up 3, I was like, "I'm fucking so out of my element right now. It's not even funny." And it's press 1 for this, 2 for that, 3, 4, 5, and 7. And because I was talking to Dash before I started this, I bought a new game called Ready or Not. The game is legitimately the same kind of way, where I'm throwing flashbangs when I'm meaning to handcuff somebody. It's I need to get this straight. And there's no tutorials, there's no prep. It's just here you go. You've been playing two other games. It's all right. But yeah. I played it on Xbox and PlayStation, so I cheated a little bit and didn't play it PC style. Well, no, I can easier play with the controller. I can play with PC. Your Steam controller. This is actually a Steel series. I got it for $10. But yeah, no, I can't do. I switched over to mouse and keyboard. I can't. I'm look down. just look straight up in the air. It's like, look left. And I can't do controller anymore. I'm sorry.
Mhm.
I wish I was back on Xbox. I wish I never upgraded to PC. But then I wouldn't have met you beautiful folks. Well, maybe not Stephanie, but you know. So anyways.
Beautiful
Awkward pause. All right.
Awkward pause. Dash, what's your number 6?
My number 6 is looking at my list. This was a show that advertisement was just thrown at me by Amazon Prime. And I had just come off of watching the show Upload. We talked about it the other day or the other week or whatever. And this show came out this year. And like I said, all this promo stuff came at me. And I was like, all right, I'll give it a chance because the trailer was really good. And this is a show that I was just taken back and just wrapped all the fuck in on. This is the show called Panic. Have you seen this?
No.
Have you seen this Panic thing that was on Amazon Prime?
I deal with Panic every day.
Old at all, just saying that. So Panic is about this girl who's in a small town. I'm never gonna make it out of this small town, kind of a thing. And there's a game called Panic, and every year the prize, whoever wins, goes up and up and up and up and up, and it's a way for people to escape this small town. And the prize this year was $50,000, and they have to do different challenges, whether it's crawl across 2 smokestacks or whatever, and it's like this big, and it's like broken too, and you have to kind of not die or chicken out. The previous year, 2 people had died. These are all kids. Once you turn 18, you're too old to do it anymore. It is one of those, like, you'll find out day of where and when. If you're there, you can participate. If not, you don't get to participate and you're out. But it's more than that. It is all of the stuff that happens trying to find out who is behind the game, who controls the game, and who bets on the game. And it goes deep from the family members of past people who have died to the sheriff. And it is intense. It is such a suspenseful show because the director did a great job of making you feel like you were doing the challenges. And it wasn't one of those things like, we're just going to strap a camera here and shoot outwards. It was the way they shot overhead. So you got that feeling of you're going to fall off of like the scaffolding and stuff. Such a brilliant show. The ending, okay. It was a little weird, but the show,
everything in coke and hookers.
I mean, not that crazy.
Okay.
But crazy in the sense of high school crazy.
Oh, okay.
But yet again, another show that none of them look like they're in high school. None of them look like they're in high school. But it's so well written. It definitely made me a fan of Amazon TV shows because I started watching Jack Ryan afterwards, and it's just the writing on the show is just better. Maybe not all the way things are shot and stuff. Like that's where Netflix excels and stuff like that. But the writing, especially on shows like Upload and Panic this year, great show.
Well, I mean, you guys remember when the NFL was like kind of sort of a big thing, and then like in the 70s it had that AFL that wasn't really that big. Right. It was kind of like an iteration of below what it is now. That's kind of what Netflix is like, where it's like, if you're good, you go to Netflix, and then everybody else kind of fights over the other little, it's like, you're not going to get the best grip in the world, but you're going to get a pretty damn good one,
Yeah.
Yeah. It sounds really interesting. I'll have to catch it on Amazon.
It's a good show. It really is.
Okay.
I'm going to need your login information for that, Dash.
You don't have Prime. If you have Prime, you have it. I suppose you don't have Prime.
I don't buy enough
I'm plugged into the Matrix.
Yeah.
I'm a good little corporate zombie.
All right, take us into our second half, Stephanie, number 5.
Speaking of corporate zombies, we're going back to Disney Plus. So plug your ears for the next 5 minutes, Jared. We just heard about it. Mine's a little bit higher on my list than it is on yours, Dash, but it is WandaVision. I absolutely adored this show. The ending was okay, and I give them a little bit of credit because COVID kind of interrupted some of the things that they wanted to do, but the show for me had me. I mean, the sitcom aspect was hilariously well done. Very, very, very well done. Just everything about it was well done. The exploration of Wanda and the breaking. And in fact, that was the first show post Blip, post Endgame, post everything that happened in Endgame. Well, I suppose Spider-Man No Way Home kind of is the first thing, but the first thing after that, kind of exploring people that lost 5 years of their life, lost their loved ones, like an interesting way of somebody with this level of power as Wanda, this Omega level mutant, who she's not a mutant in this world, but whatever, the way that she would have dealt with that. Yeah, of course, she built her own reality, and the way that we saw the moment when she built this reality, in the moment we saw her become, or when she interacted with the Mind Stone and became the Scarlet Witch, and it kind of incited her mutation, which I'm going to call it that because what it is, it incited her mutation to become this Hex Witch. It's so cool. The way that Agatha kind of played her, the way that Monica Rambeau was kind of used in the show was really interesting. And it got me another Jared ding. It made me cry in the last, I say probably the very, very last scene where what does Vision say? What is grief but love persevering? I mean, that's a great line. And it was such a well thought out kind of meditation on her grief and how much she's lost, and just what drove her to be what she is now. And it was wonderful. I thought it was a great series. It was really well executed for what they could do with COVID and the whole pandemic stuff. I shouldn't say the C word. Sorry about that. Mute that out. For the whole pandemic and all that stuff, they did as best as they could. And I thought it was still great, even with the limitations that they had. So WandaVision, number 5.
It's interesting, and I'm very surprised the way Marvel does things too. I'm surprised we haven't seen White Vision again. Like
we might. Yeah, it looked really cool.
I'm sure we will.
That scene of Vision and White.
It wouldn't surprise me. We got it in Doctor Strange too.
He's still out there. And that scene of Vision and White Vision, having that, what is the ship if you take off all the pieces and you've renovated the entire ship? Is it still the ship, right? That whole concept being applied to these two visions. One is the soul and one is the body. Interesting ideas. I'll give him some credit for some interesting ideas.
I don't know. One of my favorite parts of the show, that pan up to see White Vision. One of my absolute favorite characters in comic history is White Vision. Just to be able to take one thing and literally just negate everything, and it's just hatred, and it's just amazing character. Of White Vision is just, when they did it, I was like, holy shit, they did it. And it was something that didn't even cross my mind that they would do.
They would see him. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
No, there's just that scene of Wanda getting the map to the house that Vision bought for them, the plot of land that Vision bought for them, seeing the map, and just the moment of her outpouring her grief. Yeah, it really got me. Really, really got me for other reasons in my personal life, but it really hit home, that level of grief. So good job on that show. That was my number 5. Let's go to you, Jared. What's your number 5?
So these are actually in no particular order whatsoever. They just kind of fell because I can't justify anyone above or below anything else. So they're all at number 5 for the top rated movie of this year, but I have to put them in a order. So number 5 is Nobody. The dude is a legit nobody. He works for a secret 3-letter agency, may not even be a secret 3-letter agency. The only thing that you can tell is that he's got a tattoo on his wrist. And I mean, I kind of gave away a little bit of a plot, but fuck you, the movie's been out for a while now. But you have to be in the know to understand him. Like that's how nobody he is. If you don't know, you have no idea who you're talking to. You have no idea what you're dealing with unless you're in the know. And he just legitimately is an unknown entity. And they do the movie in a very surprisingly well way where they add quite a dash of realism to things. And I think it's kind of nice. I think it's kind of great. I enjoyed it. I thought it was top notch. So Nobody.
I have not seen it. I have not seen it. It was on my list.
Where's the fucking kitty cat bracelet? There we go. Number 5, Nobody. Yeah, you'll get it when you watch it.
Okay.
Now, Dash, I'm curious here now. I've listed off 6 things. How many of the 6 have you legitimately seen?
Well, obviously, I've seen, I want to say almost all of the Disney Plus and Marvel stuff.
Okay.
I didn't see What If yet, but that is on my
Okay.
list to see. I did not see The Invincible, Love, Death, and Robots. I did not see Castlevania. It didn't really do anything for me. I was not a huge fan. Like I was a fan of the game, but not a huge fan. So, and the fact that it was animated, I was just like, okay.
All right.
Witcher, y'all know how I am with fantasy. Nobody I meant to see. I did. I love Bob Odenkirk. I've been a big Bob Odenkirk fan since his days with like the Ben Stiller show. I go way back.
All right.
So,
All right. So
it is on my list. So I have seen nothing except, well, I saw one, your big Marvel one. So, but
yeah,
nobody
I mean
on my list.
That's fair. So I mean, technically, you've seen nothing I've put out there. All right, that's fair.
So we're on par for normalcy.
We're on par for normal. Okay, that's good. That's a good episode. Then we're a good episode. So Dash, bring it home, bud.
The second appearance from a Disney Plus show for me, in my opinion, was. Yeah, there wasn't another TV show that's higher than this for me. It was, to me, the best TV show that was out this year, and that was Loki. Hands down, that the writing was incredible. I thought Owen Wilson was just going to be there for comic support. Was such a great fucking character. The lead guard, help me out, Stephanie, because you know people's names.
Shoot.
Yeah.
No, it's not. Gugu Mbatha-Raw is the one that plays the director. The larger black gal. I can't think of her name. Cannot think of her name.
I hated her in the first episode.
Yeah, she was great in the rest of the stuff.
After that, her character, like as she was kind of awakening, she was just great. Kang the Conqueror. A little long-winded, but that is Kang. So I am excited to see what's going to happen with the character. We already know Quantumania, Kang's coming in. I would be interested to see if he will make another appearance beforehand. Maybe we shall get him in Doctor Strange 2. I have a feeling it's going to happen.
Probably.
But I also think that we're going to hopefully also see a Baxter Building in Doctor Strange 2 as well.
Who now?
Baxter Building. The Baxter Building is what the Stark Building became when Tony moved. In the comics, at least, it becomes the Baxter Building, which is home to the Fantastic Four. And Fantastic Four is in the works down the road here. And then it eventually becomes Kang Tower.
And then it becomes...
and it also comes
X-Men.
Fisk Tower as well.
Where's the X-Men? I thought we were supposed to have like X-Men by now.
The X-Men are in a school.
X-Men are coming in...
At some point.
2035.
Somewhere down the road. They're giving some time.
Captain Marvel 2, I think, is when we're supposed to get our first one because of the storyline that will lead up to it. I don't know what it is yet because I don't work for Marvel. But yeah, anyways, Loki is my number 5. Owen Wilson was just amazing. Kang, I loved all of the Easter eggs throughout this show. If you don't watch New Rockstars, shame on you. They're great with all those behind the scenes kind of things that you missed. And then we're also going to get to see Kid Loki in the Young Avengers here, which will be very cool. Excited.
Yeah, we get that.
Yeah.
Be cool.
I need a time travel machine. Just go in the future like 20 years and figure all this shit out.
Yeah.
But if you see the way time travel works, if you do that and come back, you'll come back to a different reality. So
that's fine.
Okay. Well,
what Scott said, Back to the Future was all bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is your number 4 here?
Jared's gonna be so mad. We're still back in the MCU. I'm so sorry, Jared, but this is one that I'm for sure. Well, I don't know for sure, but I'm guessing is on neither of your lists. And it's not on a lot of people's lists because I don't think they liked it quite as much as I did. But I absolutely adored this movie. Again, it had the Jared ding of it made me cry several times, probably for more personal reasons because it dealt with two sisters. This would be Black Widow. I loved this movie. It was our first introduction to Florence Pugh as Yelena. And of course, we saw her again in the Hawkeye series, just be her charming ass self. Florence Pugh is such an innately charming person. Again, Marvel always knocks it out of the park with casting. You had David Harbour as my brain is totally fried from work, so I apologize. I'm not my usual stuff self today with all my research and knowledge, but that's all right. Did you say the name while I was yabbering on?
I did, the Red Guardian.
They're Red Guardian. Thank you very much. And oh crap, his mother or their mother was played by, oh God, my stuffed brain is completely wrung out. I can see her face, but I can't think of her name.
Chick from The Mummy.
I almost had it by you saying that. I can't do it now. My stuffed brain's gone. But their family dynamic was just lovely. Again, in the lost episode of Shorts and Hoodies that shall never be seen, we did review this movie. And I said a lot of the reasons why this movie is high up on my list. It involves two sisters. I have a younger sister who I feel very protective of. I feel very much like Natasha to Yelena. I feel as if I've let her down in a lot of ways, and that movie really touched on it. It really touched me with kind of that exploration of their dynamic. I have a a family that is no longer together, same sort of thing, and so that really hit home with me. And it was a little bit on the nose, but the Harvey Weinstein character controlling women. I know some people had a real problem with how Taskmaster was used, but I think they intended because they used Taskmaster and because we know who Taskmaster is in the comics, that allowed it to be kind of a surprise. Now, whether you like that choice or not, totally up to you. And I'll agree with you either way. It's totally your opinion, but I didn't mind it. Olga Kurylenko is a cool actress. I wish we would have seen more of her in the movie, but she's a cool choice. Hopefully we'll see her some more so she can get she has good dynamic range in her acting. So I'd like to see her some more. But I just love that whole story. I love the sisters, and the part at the end where Yelena, or when Natasha finally says to Yelena, it was real to me. She admits that, yes, I really did think of you as my sister, and they have their special whistle, which we saw again in Hawkeye. That it broke me in the movie. That really, really made me bawl my eyes out. I called my sister almost immediately after that. I'm like, Jen, I need to talk to you. How are you doing? I'm sorry for being such a bad sister, and all this sort of stuff that it conjured up. So hit home in a lot of ways. So I loved Black Widow.
I did too.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you don't do a graphic and a ding when Stephanie says that there was a ding, I'm gonna be very thoroughly upset with this episode.
Had my Jared ding, made me cry. Gets bonus points.
It did not make my list only because something else was higher for me. But I am a big fan of Black Widow, so much that I have choreographed a dance this year with 8 of my girls, and it's entitled Black Widow, and it's based on the Red Room.
Interesting.
They all play Black Widow. So
interesting.
Yeah, I try to take as much from pop culture and stories and themes into my choreography and stuff. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
That CZ Scorpion though, that fire rate that ruined.
You know what? if those little tiny things ruin movies for you, I mean,
I know it's so dumb. It's so dumb. I know.
I mean, I have to excuse bad science that I see in movies, so I guess I understand what that feels like.
I know. I just find it funny that's like my one takeaway from that movie is like, well, I mean, Well,
that's me with the San Andreas, that it's a 13 on the Richter scale, which would divide the Earth in half.
Yeah, I was going to say
13 on the Richter scale ever happened, the Earth would crack apart.
Haven't we had like a 9 and that like fucked us up for like thousands of years?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah.
Oh well, science. So anyways, speaking of science, let's go to your number 4. That's a bad transition. Go for it, Jared.
Speaking of science and numbers, I did learn about how that Richter scale works. Makes a little bit more sense now. Because it isn't like 1 is like, or like 2 is like 1,000 times more worse than.
They're all factors.
And then okay. So it blew my mind. My number I couldn't comprehend it. But my number 4 is Godzilla versus Kong. The story was kind of trashy. It really was kind of trashy, but like to see Godzilla and Kong just duke it the fuck out like demons was kind of cool. I mean, I love how Godzilla just like as soon as he was like Kong is here, I'm going to kill this motherfucker. Like it was just he had to. It's like when my birds see the cat outside, they have to scream at me that the cat is back and there's danger, 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 and can't. I think it's great. And then the axe that Kong brings out that's got a scale from Godzilla, and you're just like, oh, that's why he wants to kill him so quickly. I got it. And then the power of friendship. Fucking stupid, but whatever. I'm sorry.
We're slowly learning that Jared's soul is dead.
My soul is dead.
Love is dumb. Friendship's dumb.
It's not. It's not that. It's just stop making it the everything in a movie, man. Like the stories that you and I love with the gore and the violence that are more realism. Like, give me that shit. Mm-hmm. The dude's just pissed off. He wants to kill everybody. I mean, that's a fair assumption. Like, okay, that's half the reason why serial killers go mad. It's because some of them are just like, I'm fucking pissed, and they're done. Like, okay, cool. Don't give me this. Oh, his heart is broken. It's like, yeah, bitch, my heart's been broken. God knows how many times. I'm still here. Come on, tell me I'm not fucking crazy here. Tell me I'm not nuts for this.
I mean, the trope in and of itself isn't bad. It's whether or not they use it well or not.
Okay, I'll give you that.
If the trope is one thing. If it's used well, it's used badly, then yeah, it's going to seem cheesy. It's not earned.
I hate that. I hate that when it's used very, very poorly.
Mm-hmm.
I saw myself yelling and I felt very, very odd. So I apologize.
That's all right. No, I was just going to say that the Godzilla versus Kong was kind of ruined for me because it did not live up to. If you guys follow the Owl Kitty channel on YouTube?
I'm sorry.
Where it's this black cat. So this guy takes trailers and clips from films and he superimposes his black cat as one of the characters in the videos. And there's a version of the Kong versus Godzilla trailer that has, I think it's Owl Kitty, if I remember correctly.
Something like that.
I think Owl Kitty is Kong in that. I think that's right. And it just bam, knocks Godzilla back into the water. It's so funny. And so nothing in the movie lived up to that hilarious that trailer was for me. It was fine, but that movie suffered from all the things I have not liked in the other Godzilla movies, which was way too much focus on the dumb humans with kind of a story. Vera Farmiga kind of looking worried all the time. She's very worried.
Godzilla. I loved Kong Skull Island.
I loved Kong Skull Island. Yeah, that one did it fine.
I loved all of them. And then Godzilla vs. Kong, I was like, yes, finally. This is Freddy versus Jason. This is Endgame. This is the culmination.
Yeah, kind of a snooze fest. But the action was kind of cool. Some of the fighting was cool.
Yeah.
The Kong Skull Island, I really liked that movie.
Bobby Brown whine one more time.
So, I mean, man, same thing as Megalodon. As the Meg, like the human stories are not what I'm there for.
Yeah,
I'm watching it right now.
The Owl Kitty.
The Owl Kitty. I'm sorry. I had to see this, and it's
so funny.
Nothing would live up to that. Nothing in that movie lived up to that
live
part.
Up to that.
Did you see the Jurassic Park one?
That's what I just finished that.
Oh, that one is great.
The great channel. Shout out to the Owl Kitty channel. It's so funny.
All right, my new no. We're redoing that. So my new number 4 is the Owl Kitty channel. That shit was a banger. I don't fucking care who you are.
So good.
There you go. So Dash, fucking do your magic and replace that shit. Scribble that out. And the Owl Kitty. I'm sorry. I went on a tangent there. I do that like once a show, don't I? I just lose my fucking mind.
You gotta get your dark feelings out.
I don't have anywhere to vent it. I don't have anywhere to vent it. You guys are like, thank you. Speaking of better out than in, Dash.
What the hell?
I don't fucking know.
My number 4 is a movie that comes from the brilliant mind of James Gunn. The marketing for this was amazing and outstanding, and only half of the team survived. This is the Suicide Squad. Just a movie that I think surprised so fucking many people, especially after the horrendous just pile of shit that was Suicide Squad. To bring it back with the Suicide Squad, the sequel, was just great. What?
So Suicide Squad is the first one.
Correct.
And then Suicide Squad is technically called the Suicide Squad.
Correct. The first one was done by, I don't know who, but James Gunn was
David Ayer.
Yeah. The second one, the Suicide Squad, with Idris Elba, John Cena, Margot Robbie, that was done by James Gunn, the same one who did Guardians of the Galaxy.
Is it called the Suicide Squad because it is the actual OG squad? Or
no. Suicide Squad was the first one that came out, and then the Suicide Squad is the new one. But I don't know.
They didn't want to call it Suicide Squad 2 because it is not necessarily a sequel. That's why I said it is a sequel.
Yeah, it's kind of
a sequel, reboot, reimagining is what it was called. So it's a little bit of everything. It's a movie in its own, even though we already know who Harley Quinn is because of Suicide Squad
and Birds of Prey. And they didn't really play on her Birds of Prey storyline all that much.
They didn't, but they did bring back the pedals.
They did, yeah.
So I thought this was great. Hella surprised by John Cena. Very awkward actor. I think this role was perfect for him. What he brought to it was nothing short of amazing, in my opinion. And I'm super excited to see what he's going to do with the HBO show. And then, I mean, Idris Elba can do no wrong to me. Should be the next Bond. He should have been Bond before Daniel Craig. The man is just oozes sophistication and is just god handsome, and is just like, he's such a great actor. I mean, I could keep going on.
Sound like me.
The dude who played Plastic Man was
You mean Polka Dot Man?
Polka Dot Man. Yeah, I'm sorry, Polka Dot Man.
David Desmalchian.
There you go.
If that brain left.
Probably the surprise of the entire movie. I thought his character was just so hilarious, and
his mom showing up.
Y'all,
so funny.
Scene stealing. I wish we'd have gotten more of Ratcatcher 2.
She was sweet.
I did like what we did get with I can never say his name, the director who played Ratcatcher 1.
Oh, Taika Waititi.
Yeah. I wish we'd have seen more.
Yeah, I agree.
And maybe there'll be a director's cut or something that we do get a little bit more. That would be interesting to see. I think I have it on Vudu. I have to see if there's a director's cut on that. But I like
that they use Starro.
Yes, I did.
It's always a character that's freaked me out, is Starro.
And then of course the big star of the whole movie.
Big star.
Well, not in that sense, but the biggest star of the whole movie, King Shark, Sylvester Stallone, was just hilarious. Just everything he said and did was just fun. Yeah.
When?
Did y'all see the Suicide Squad?
Yes, I did. I really enjoyed it. It didn't make my list. It's an honorable mention for me. The Harley Quinn storyline was it was interesting. There's a lot of interesting stuff that happened in her storyline, but for me it was Starro. Starro was the big star of the movie for me, not literally and figuratively.
Yeah,
because that was such a creepy concept. And the poor thing, like I was happy floating out in space. Like, oh, you poor thing. He abused you.
Kill it.
I didn't. That's why I had to raise my hand. I didn't understand the concept of going from Suicide Squad to the Suicide Squad, and it was just like, it's like Harley Quinn's it. She's the only one left. Okay, I don't quite understand this, but all right.
Well, I
And-
mean, in the comics, there are different iterations of the Suicide Squad. So
Yeah.
there are a couple that are there for the most part. Harley Quinn is one of those on kind of one side of Suicide Squad. Deadshot is another that you see all the time. But yeah, I mean,
We saw
I'm sure
Boomerang.
yeah, Boomerang was back again.
Captain Boomerang.
Excuse me. Sorry.
Didn't mean to demote him.
Private
Yeah.
Boomerang.
But I also at the same time, I mean, it was a little bit of a Deadpool 2 moment, the way the movie starts, which was just hilarious to me that they did that. We did all this promo and marketing and stuff for all of these people, and then it's like,
And they're gone.
go.
Yeah. Especially Flula Borg, who I think is very, very
yes.
funny. He's such a funny dude. I was hoping to see a lot of Javelin,
Yeah.
but no. Spoilers.
Should have seen the movie.
I know.
Alrighty. Top 3. Here we go.
Top 3. All right.
Road Trace.
So I don't know if you guys have seen this movie, but there are few combinations of 2 words that'll get me to watch a movie faster than starring Nicolas Cage. But this movie had those, and a very interesting role for Nicolas Cage. He does not speak a word the entire movie. He just speaks with his fists. This is Willy's Wonderland. Did you guys see this movie?
I did not.
I think I'll watch it now.
Oh my God. So he plays this guy, he shows up as a janitor. I have a theory that this character is actually Ghost Rider in a little bit, because he drives a really cool car. And he takes out these demon infested Chuck E. Cheese characters that are killing people, the townspeople. Well, I won't give too much away so you guys can actually whatever, but they're these crazy characters, and Nicolas Cage has to basically take them out one by one. I don't need to really say much more than that. Nicolas Cage, he's got eyeball magnets in his body. He does not need to say a word for me to follow everything that he's doing on screen. He's such a magnet, and he really plays on that in this movie to the nth degree. The teenagers in it are really fun too. It's a slasher flick, but it's in the best B movie tradition. It's cheesy in all the right places. It's serious in all the right places. It's horrific in all the right places. It's really, really a great movie, I think. So yeah, Willy's Wonderland, definitely a top 3 movie, because it's just laughing and going, the whole movie, that sort of experience. It's really, really fun to watch.
I legit almost didn't give this movie a chance, like at all. It was one of those. It's like Nicola, nope, and it didn't
I'm the
seem
exact opposite. Nicolas Cage, yep.
Well, see,
I'll
here's the
take that.
thing. What's that movie where one of them is a Muppet cop, and it's like about the Muppet murders, and then they have that one.
Oh, Happy Time Murders.
Yeah, Happy Time Murders. I was watching Happy Time Murders, and I was just like, I got through like 10 minutes of it. I was like, this is fucking stupid. Like, this is legit. I can't even watch this. One of the very few movies I've ever done that with.
Mm-hmm.
One of the very few movies I've actually stopped. But I'm not a fan of Nicolas Cage because of Gone in 60 Seconds. He gets a little cringy for me. But now that you said you haven't said he doesn't say a single word, and he just violence, I think I might have to give it a shot. I really might. Like, I'm really thinking I have to.
It's quite a fun movie.
All right. Willy's Wonderland, here it goes. Here I come.
He had another one out this year called Primal, which almost made my list. That's where he played a big game hunter that ended up going against this like elite soldier on a ship filled with big game animals that get let loose. And that was almost on my list. That was another fun Nicolas Cage-ism. There's something about Nicolas Cage. The pulpy B moviness of some of his acting is always very fun for me to experience.
Good thing US IRS a lot of money, Ben.
He does, but he's making good movies too. So,
well, yeah, I mean, for
he likes
like
to
people
work.
like you.
He likes to work with a lot of independent directors. He likes to work with up and coming directors quite a bit, and then they get the pop of, oh, Nicolas Cage was in my movie. He doesn't actually take that much money for some of the movies that he does. He wants to do interesting stuff, which I appreciate. So, anyways, there's my number 3. We're gonna go to you, Jared.
There we go.
There we go.
Dash, you didn't have anything to say about that.
Didn't see it.
Oh.
The trailer didn't do too much for me. It was weird looking. I mean, I love Nicolas Cage.
It's a good B movie for sure.
All right, that's fair. Speaking of movies with lots and lots of Easter eggs that I was actually able to follow for a change, is Army of the Dead.
Oh, I was gonna didn't see this, but it's on my list.
Dash, you saw Godzilla and Army of the Dead, right?
I did not see Army of the Dead, but it is on my list.
Okay.
Now that I am at a certain point with my dance season, I can start picking up a lot more movies now because I will be traveling on the weekends, and Army of the Dead is on my list. I'm a huge Romero fan, and I am an even bigger Dave Bautista fan.
Okay, I'll keep it very brief for you then. Civilians who basically have nothing to do with anything. It's a great storyline. Like I legitimately was watching the movie and I picked up a few of the Easter eggs that they talked about, which is something I don't ever do. I thought it was fantastic. I thought it was glorious. I loved I know that there's actually been a lot of talk now about like if you don't build a universe around your movies or something like that, you're kind of not even in the game anymore. I kind of feel like that's out of the loop here because like it almost feels like every movie is trying to build a universe within itself. Like it leaves it open to like a prequel and a sequel, and it leaves it like all these little side shoots that you can watch. And I'm just like, that's cool and all, but like there's some cool little shit in there that you notice in the middle of the movie, and you're like, I almost want to have to Google what the fuck that is. And don't just watch the movie all the way through, Dash. Just watch it all the way through and then Google stuff.
No,
so
I know this is one of those things that Zack Snyder was brought back on. He did Dawn of the Dead, which is I'm a huge fan of Dawn of the Dead. For him to do Army of the Dead, and he is looking to bring back a resurgence of the Dead series.
Yeah,
and so I'm super stoked for him to be back at the helm.
I just think it was a great movie. The way that they blended kind of everything together, and it wasn't a hokey pokey cheesy military like, oh, let's get the boys back together. It's got a little bit of that, but like it does so well at telling a story that it's just.
Let me ask you this: do you know who Tig Notaro is?
I was just going to mention Tig Notaro. I love Tig Notaro.
Tig Notaro, she's a white chick, really boyish haircut.
Dark hair.
The Hilo pilot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does she have a good part? Because who did she replace?
Crystalia.
Crystalia. And I'm a big Crystalia fan, but I'm an even bigger Tig Notaro fan. And when I heard that they replaced Crystalia with Tig Notaro, I was like, I mean, comedy aside, I just love Tig Notaro's like timing and just it's something about her. Like I want to hang out with her.
You should watch Star Trek Discovery then, because she's in Star Trek Discovery.
Oh.
Yeah, she plays a science officer. She's like the best part of the second season of Star Trek Discovery.
You know what's funny is they didn't even edit some of the parts. They just like replace her. They just straight up replace her. You will catch a movie mistake in there. I think they left it in there for comedic purposes. Yeah. But yeah, like literally they basically just reshot Crystalia's parts and that's it.
Gotcha.
Like it's funny though. She's great. Like I love her to death. She doesn't have that big of a part in it, but she does play a very pivotal role in the movie. So
she's just a funny and interesting person.
The
special that she did, what was it, after she got breast cancer or whatever?
It's
one of the I'll put that stand up there. That stand up there with say like Mike Birbiglia, my girlfriend's boyfriend. It's one of my favorite. Like she's a good storyteller, and that's what I like. Yeah. She brings you into her world. So yeah.
Dash.
Okay.
16 for Raleigh. Where's your 3 at?
I like that transition. My number, Trey, as I rub across my nipple here, the number 3.
Oh boy,
that was weird. This was probably the movie on my list that I had the most fun watching. Horrible soundtrack because I cannot stand Mariah Carey. But this movie had so many video game Easter eggs in it. It was just an amazing fun. And dare we say we could go ahead and put this into the MCU as well, just for that one section. This is Free Guy. This movie was hella fun. Oh,
I haven't watched it yet.
I haven't watched it yet either.
I was gonna rent it. I wanted to rent it for like weeks.
Don't think about it anymore. Just go do it. It's so worth it. I'm telling you. Wait till
the show's over.
Okay.
You can watch it. Okay. But no, yeah, don't sleep on this movie. This was a movie that I watched it at home. I didn't go to the theaters or anything like this for this movie, and I really wished I saw it in theaters. Like, oh, excuse me. Whew. Get that indigestion. I really wish I saw it in theaters because it's so good. Lil Ray was great in this too, as the like the best friend, and probably the best part of the whole movie is the dude. Yeah.
I think I know what I'm doing.
The dude shows up.
Well, not like the dude. I mean, that dude doesn't abide by this one, but like, okay, yeah, him.
But Jeff Bridges shows up at some point.
Yeah. The muscular Ryan Reynolds. And the behind the scenes of this movie is just incredible. The director, help me out. He did Sean Levy. Oh, bam, Sean Levy. Directed a lot of the like Stranger Things episodes and stuff. Say the director's name again. Waititi?
Sean Levy.
Oh, Taika Waititi.
Yeah, Taika Waititi. Plays a great bad guy in the movie. This is, of course, the coming together of these two, Taika Waititi and Ryan Reynolds since Green Lantern, and there's a couple references to that as well in the movie.
He just can't help himself. He just has to keep asking for forgiveness.
Yeah. Yeah, great movie. Yeah, both of you haven't seen it?
Haven't seen it yet.
I've been literally walking past Redbox all the time, and it's like $2, rent me, and it's like I can't find the time to come back to you, big guy. And like I see it all the time. It's like rent it for like $5 on Microsoft. I'm just like, I just can't devote my time to it. Like
make time for it. Trust me. It's you're a gamer. You like Ryan Reynolds?
Tomorrow, it's going down tomorrow.
It's a great movie, and it pokes fun at itself. It's so funny. Yeah, that is my number 3. Stephanie, inching closer and closer to number 1 spot. What is your number 2?
Number 2. Well, another crossover or another restate. Unfortunately, yes, still in the MCU. Sorry, Jared. But this is my favorite of all of the Marvel things that I watched in the last year by far, because it was the coolest and the most unique entry in the MCU, and that is Loki. I mean, and one of the, I think the only one of the shows, I'm thinking back between WandaVision and we just saw the Hawkeye finale with Kingpin. That was a fun finale. The finale of Falcon and the Winter Soldier was interesting, but whatever. But this finale with Kang, I mean, Jonathan Majors is, I'll use that eyeball magnet phrase again. He's got eyeball magnets in his body. If he's on screen, I did not find him long-winded at all. I could have had the whole episode with that character because he was so interesting what he was doing. He was being very over the top and very whatever, but I think this had to be the introduction of that character, and therefore it had to be that much time devoted to him, right? So it's mechanism of the overall universe. But Loki and Sylvie were such an interesting, I mean, the dynamic of course, Loki, the ultimate narcissist, would fall in love with himself, right? And they make the joke in the actual show, but that's actually probably what would happen, right? And again, I talked about the show Ragnarok earlier, the fact that, that Loki in Norse mythology could be male or female. It was kind of gender fluid. The fact that in another universe, Loki would be a female makes total sense to me. And in one universe, he could be black. In one universe, he could be an alligator. You know, the multiverse is a crazy ass place. The idea of the time variance unit, the time variance authority, excuse me, the TVA, the way that oh no, Jared, I'm boring you.
No, you're not. I'm just
the kind of Fallout 4 aesthetic of the TVA and of the little timepiece was kind of fun. I mean, I don't know if that's what they were going for, but that's what it felt like to me, was kind of the Fallout 4 kind of aesthetic. And yeah, Owen Wilson. Wow, I had no idea, because I haven't watched enough Owen Wilson films other than his comedic stuff. I had no idea that guy could bring it on that level.
The
Like, he
range.
really brought it. Yeah. Holy crap. It was fantastic. So yeah, Loki, and it's science fiction. I mean, you give me science fiction, I'm going to love it. And that show had definitely a lot of science fiction elements to it. So I loved Loki. My number 2.
Cool.
Nothing more need be said. Alligator Loki is adorable. All right.
So you guys aren't boring me. I know I told you guys earlier, but the audience doesn't
Stuff
know.
like
I think I might have COVID-19. I think I might have it.
Oh no, you said we keep saying the word. We're gonna
I know we
demonetized.
keep saying the
between
fucking
that and the
word.
swearing, YouTube will never share this episode with anybody.
Well, fuck.
I might. Yeah. Well, whatever. No, I'm just. It's just.
Goddamn
I've.
COVID.
Damn fucking COVID.
Oh, I'm so angry. I'm sitting. I start work at like 10 o'clock. I wake up at like 9:50 in the morning. Like, it's so bad. Like, I just, ever since Christmas Eve, I've felt like I've been hit by a freight train. So, I apologize, but yeah, the C word.
Maybe it's PMS.
Maybe I am going through menopause. Maybe
Don't have
I
to
am.
spell things out.
Menopause.
Yeah, pumice.
Pumice.
I don't know. I'm still surprised I haven't gotten a call, because I called the VA at like 5 o'clock this afternoon. I was like, hey, I need a test. And they're like, we'll get back to you. I was like, oh, okay. They are backlogged. But speaking of backlog, this is a redone, not really a reimagination, but kind of a redone version of an older movie that I found to be just completely out of touch and just completely weird for I think it was like a 90s movie, but Mortal Kombat.
Okay.
I thoroughly loved the way that Mortal Kombat was kind of reinvigorated and rethought of in modern times. I liked the way that Scorpion came out. I liked the way that they did some of the guys. Like, I like how they tweaked it just enough to be good. Like, it still has the cheesy elements. It still feels really kind of like, come on, guys. But like, I really liked Mortal Kombat. I was also running a little thin on movies, but Mortal Kombat. It's up
some
there.
of the fighting was great. I can have a whole movie of Joe Taslim. Him and Scorpion was great fights.
I love the way they did everything, and then the guy, the main character, the way he made his entrance back in at the end, he's just like, nope, fuck you. I fought through hell. It's like, yes, sir, you did. Wait, that's fucking spot the fuck on. So, Mortal Kombat. Oh my god, it's so brings back memories. Sliding the quarter into the machine, getting my ass kicked by that 10-year-old. God, I love those days.
It still did not approach the level of the original Mortal Kombat for me personally.
No,
it still is the best video game movie there's been thus far.
I will die on that hill that it was not a very good movie at all.
That the old one, the 95?
95 was very.
I'm with you, Stephanie.
That movie's great.
It's one of the best movies.
It is great. It is B-movie schlock. The sequel's garbage.
Shit.
The sequel's absolute garbage.
Yeah, no.
The first one knew what it was.
Yep. Agreed.
I mean, it knew what it was. Okay, I'll put it in the same realm as Hot Rod. I can watch it once and enjoy it once, but the second view through, no buenos.
I made my husband watch it recently because he hadn't seen it. I'm like, oh, we're watching it right now. I'm like, oh, this movie is so good.
A pair of sunglasses. Oh,
love the movie. Anyways,
Dash, take us away.
My number 2. If I'm not mistaken, it's probably the longest movie that is on this list, and it could have been even longer. Jared, you brought in Zack Snyder. I'm going to bring him back. This is Justice League, the Snyder Cut.
Was that this year?
that was this year in January 8th.
Gosh darn it. It would have been on
Yeah.
my list too if I thought it was last year. This is 2021's fault for feeling like 9 years long.
Yeah, this was right in the very beginning of the year. And it has stuck with me ever since. It is one of my absolute favorite superhero movies. Bringing in the black suit. The movie is 4 hours long, and again,
So good.
I did in the first season. I did a review on this with Gingerflix, and I said it then. I'll say it again. This movie I felt could have been longer. I thought 4 hours. I mean, 4 hours touched on a lot of things. I would have liked to have seen a little bit more Martian Manhunter. Also would have known what the fuck were you doing and why didn't you help us?
Yeah, man.
That's my only hang up of the movie.
Why have you been in every movie but not doing anything?
Right. That was my only hang up. Zack
It's like
Snyder to me
Eternals.
Zack Snyder is a directing god to me. He is the equivalent of Lemmy for movies, and he can do no wrong in my eyes. And this was just sheer perfection of a movie. It was a masterpiece, and I loved every single minute of it.
Well, the Eternals were only supposed to act if there was a variant in the system, and Thanos was technically a variant. So whether it didn't help, yeah.
What?
Well,
No, you
Thanos has the variant gene.
Yeah, the Eternals are not. The Eternals were not supposed to do anything unless there was like a variant gene that was part of it, and Thanos technically was a variant.
Yeah, but
So.
this is DC, so there's
I
different
know.
rules.
I'm just, yeah. And I will say I loved it. I am right there with you, Dash. Right there with you, big guy.
I forgot it was out this year. Otherwise, it would have been on my list for sure.
Yep. Thank you, Google.
Oh my God. It was so freaking much
This movie
better
is
than
from
that.
2021. Oh, I like that one, I like
Justice.
that
I
one,
did
I like
that
that one.
too. And it didn't come up as one of the movies in 2021.
It jogs a lot of those movies.
IMDb.
those cobwebs.
I did do IMDb and it didn't come out.
It
Didn't say
showed
was a
up.
It didn't for me. So I don't know.
I stay off IMDb. I've been burned by them a couple times when they say certain movies come out, and they was wrong. So I go to Google, and I go to usually like Rotten Tomatoes because it'll give you a release date.
Yeah.
And that's the kicker.
I did not do my normal level of research for this week because I was trying to
Well,
launch
way
a
to go,
product.
Stephanie.
I
How
was
about you
launching-
give us an honorable mention?
Well, okay, this would be an honorable mention. I'm just saying I had too much work crap. I'm sorry. So I a lot of honorable mentions of stuff that I did see and didn't mention on my list. You mentioned Suicide Squad. Matrix Resurrections was on an honorable mention. I did enjoy it for the most part. The rest of the MCU, Falcon Winter Soldier, Hawkeye. Quick shout out to Coming to America, which was fun to see Eddie Murphy and the whole crew back again. But the movie was all right. It was okay. Mortal Kombat was on there. Shout out to Dota Dragon's Blood, Defense of the Ages as an anime. Great little series that you guys should watch. But my actual honorable mention was the Olympics coverage. Now, not the Olympics itself, but the Peacock Plus show of Kevin Hart and Snoop Dogg breaking down the Olympics was one of the funniest freaking things I have watched in a long time. I did not realize how much I needed to hear Kevin Hart and Snoop Dogg talk about the Olympics, but I think they need to do not only Olympics, but every sporting event that comes out for the next, 5 years. There needs to be a Kevin Hart and Snoop Dogg show breaking down whatever that sport is, because it was unbelievably hilarious. It was so well done. I mean, Snoop is so freaking funny, and then you pair him with Kevin Hart. The two of them just were magic together. So Kevin Hart and Snoop Dogg's Olympic coverage on Peacock Plus was a highlight of watching anything I've watched this year.
I can take Kevin Hart in small doses, but you are right. I saw that little snippet where Snoop's like, "Oh man, I'm so tired," and Kevin's like, "Why?" He's like, "Oh, I was up reading my binder," and he's like, "You got a binder?" And 3, 2, and it's just they were really fucking good.
Good, so good. And this doesn't quite count. This is music, but my other honorable mention would be Avatar: my favorite band, Avatar, did a whole concert series in January of every weekend they did a different level of all their discography. That's my other honorable mention. You don't have to put that on their dash, but that was my other big thing that
I only put one honorable mention.
That's fine. You only have to put the one.
Yeah.
But my other one for music would be Avatar's January. Avatar-wary. So what was yours, Jared? Your honorable mention?
I don't know. Do you want to save my rant for last, or you want to just put it in the middle here, Dash?
You can go for it. What was your honorable mention?
My honorable mention is to every miserable motherfucker out there that talks during the movies. I know this is not a movie or a TV show, but I swear to God, in 2021, the amount of miserable individuals that have answered their phone, that have talked during the movie, and that has somehow tried to effectively ruin the few movies that I have ever been to. My honorable mention is thank you for making my day to know that I am in one of the best parts of my life watching these movies right now. Because it started with Deadpool. I went and saw Deadpool for the first time. Dude had to answer his phone. I was like, all right, maybe don't go during the packed parts of the movies. The dude that I watched Spider-Man No Way Home from, or no, whatever the new one is from, dude literally had to reach over to his girlfriend. Oh, that's Daredevil, or that's Matt Murdock. And I was like, dude, why are you bringing her to a movie? Like, knock it the fuck off. Like, if you don't know what's going on, this is opening day weekend. You know every hardcore motherfucker is coming out. Just stop doing that. Stop it. So my honorable mention is to all the nitwits that tried to ruin all the good movies that I went to this year. I don't know. Can I have that as an honorable mention, or do I actually have to mention somebody?
Your list.
Yeah. Honorable mention goes to D-bags in movie theaters.
I had a lot more in there, but I'm not going to read that. That's just me mad during phone calls today. That was just you ever get put on that work list where you're like, this is a shit detail and I know it, but I'm going to eat it so everyone else can have a good day. That's where Jared was at today. Jared had the really bad list. So
I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. We got out like 2 hours early because I ate all the shit list. So I'm happy with that. I can deal with that. Awesome. Plus, I got to play some more games and do the list like I'm supposed to.
There you go.
I'm trying to make time for Dash to get ready for his thing because he seems to be writing everything down.
I'm just doodling, just waiting.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I was needing to create time for you. No. So moving on, who's your honorable mention, Dash?
My honorable mention, I mentioned it in the beginning. I don't know if it's going to be in the show, but I'll fucking put it in there now. The show that we get today, this is when we got it for season 3, Cobra Kai. Cobra Kai season 3, we finally got to find out what was going to happen with Miguel. If you're not a fan of the show, do you watch the show, Stephanie?
I have not seen the show. No.
Oh,
I know that the one guy, Zolo Maridueña, is going to be Blue Beetle. That's what I know about that show.
Yeah. I'm super excited. Blue Beetle is one of my absolute favorite DC characters. And of course, there has to be a Booster Gold in there, because what's Blue Beetle without the best friend, Booster Gold?
Well, friendship's dumb, as we've learned. So
yeah,
knock it off.
There is no greater bond than Blue Beetle and Booster Gold, in my opinion. But to be able to see him, he's already starting to bulk up now and everything to play Blue Beetle. I cannot wait. But anyways, season 3, Cobra Kai, finding out what was going to happen with Miguel. Now season 4 starts today. I'm a big Cobra Kai fan. I'm a big Karate Kid fan from the 80s. Ralph Macchio, William Zabka together again. In the whole story of their rivalry is just, and what it's become is, this is really cool. They've created, the writers have just been amazing. First 2 seasons were good. Third season was great. And I'm sure this one, bringing in the baddest motherfucker from the Karate Kid 3 is coming back. So it's gonna be really cool.
Awesome.
Speaking of bulking up, Stephanie, you saw Yaskier with his shirt off, right?
Have I gotten to there yet? No, I have not gotten to that part yet. So I get to see Yaskier with his shirt off. That's cool. He pulled
a Henry Cavill where he's like, no. Yeah.
He took the superhero horse steroids.
Yeah, he took the superhero horse steroids, and like they made it like he was like, I know I'm not getting paid nearly enough, but you're going to shoot this scene for me. And it's like you have this kind of mental image from the first one, and then you see him in the second one, you're like, that's a nice piece of man meat right there.
We'll
So
see. I don't just love the pretty men for their prettiness. I'd like
you
they have
can,
to have a brain behind it, or it's meaningless to me.
dude writes songs about Geralt. Like that's
It's
how we
true.
know about Geralt.
That "Burn Butcher Burn" is a pretty cool song. I like it's stuck in my head still right now as I say it.
That's
So, anyways,
magnifique.
speaking of magnifique, we'll talk about someone who this is definitely has some good man meat. Speaking of men who are good looking and intelligent and funny, my number one pick has several of those men in it. One being, of course, Jason Momoa. The other one being Oscar Isaac. The other one being Dave Bautista. And the other one being Timothée Chalamet. This is Dune.
Ooh.
I loved the ever-loving bleep out of this movie. I've seen it 4 times already this year. I then went and I'd never read Dune before until I watched this. I'd watched shortly before, watched the Kyle MacLachlan Dune, the David Fincher version of Dune, which is very interesting. And of course, Sting in the bikini is very interesting. Of course, I love Sting, so that's another reason to love it. But it's a very, very weird and gross movie because the Baron is very, very disgusting in the Fincher movie. But in this movie, I like the first time I watched Dune, I was just like this to the screen the whole movie. I was so taken in by the movie. I mean, I love Denis Villeneuve anyways. I love Arrival. I love Blade Runner 2049. I think he is a master filmmaker. The special effects look amazing. The sound design in the movie is just incredible because we had a really great sound system where we watched the movie up at the lake. We have a very nice theater up there. And we felt just the sound moving through this 3D sound. It was really, really cool, really affecting in the way that Hans Zimmer really built his score around the sound design. Timothée Chalamet, I had never gotten it before, and with this movie, I got it. He again, we'll use the eyeball magnets. He's got eyeball magnets. I can't take my eyes off him when he's on screen. Oscar Isaac with that incredible beard. Rebecca Ferguson just being, she's fantastic. I've been in love with her since Mission Impossible. I mean, Zendaya is in it for a very short period of time, but when she's there, she's very lovely to look at. And she's got a very, again, enigmatic quality to her. You have to watch her on screen. I'm very much looking forward to Dune Part 2. And then I had never read the books before I saw the first Dune. And after this one, I immediately read through all of Dune very quickly. I'm about half of the way through Dune Messiah right now, slowly but surely. That's a very, very dense book, but it really got me into. And when I read Dune and then watched it again, I saw even more Easter eggs of how Denis was presenting the story. That little mouse that you see in the movie has a big significance as to Timothée Chalamet's character and kind of what he becomes, and the way that the society used this religious tale to control these people, that they seeded this idea of a prophecy in these people and then gave them the information to use it to make Timothée Chalamet this prophetic figure, messianic figure, the idea of using religion to control people, like a lot of ideas that are in Dune and presented in an absolutely beautiful fashion. So absolutely my number one film of the year, Dune. And I'm so glad that HBO put it on HBO Max, because I wouldn't have gotten to see this in the theaters, but I did get to, and I think it's the reason why it was so popular with so many people, because they had it on HBO Max. It was an enormous hit on HBO Max, huge streaming numbers. I'm so grateful that they could do that so that people at home could watch it, so I could watch it 4 times easily. Yeah, absolutely my number one film of the year, Dune. And it's up for Best Picture. I think it might have a chance at Best Picture at the Oscars. We'll see.
Awesome.
Yeah. So you guys saw Dune? Yes.
I'm not a big Dune person. Yeah.
Because of the original Fincher one.
Mm-hmm.
It's such a night and day presentation from the Fincher version, because I just watched it just before I saw this Dune for the first time. Such a night and day difference.
Maybe I'll give it a shot. I've got HBO Max, so
I think it might be back on there now. Yeah. But yeah, I can't recommend it highly enough.
I was interested in it.
It's a slow burn kind of a film. So you really do have to, you can't be distracted. Like I put my phone away, I put everything else away, and I was just enamored with the screen and what I was looking at. The worms look amazing. The atmosphere of Arrakis just looks amazing. Loved it. Beautiful. Yes. And Javier Bardem's in it and he's great. And Jason Momoa's in it and he's great. And David Bautista is in it and he's great. And Stellan Skarsgård is the Baron. It's great. Polka Dot Man is in it. David Dastmalchian. He has a little part. He is not in it for a whole lot of time, but he's very creepy when he's there. So he's also great. So I can go on and on and on. The movie's amazing. I can go on and on and on and on, but I won't. So let's go to you, Jared, for your number one.
Great. I've noticed that like when you guys extol upon your movies that you really, really enjoy, you have a lot to say. And I am like the polar opposite because like I have a lot to say about the bottom of the list. And as it goes up, I just get shorter and shorter in it. Because like my number one movie is The Witcher, Nightmare of the Wolf.
It is really good.
Animated one.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, it's how the Witchers got to be where they're at. I liked it. It's a great origin story. That's all I have typed out.
So you spend more energy on the negative stuff than you do the positive stuff.
Well, like if I like a movie, there's just less about it that I just have to say other than just go watch the fucking movie. Just go watch it. Like I don't want to spoil much about any of the good stuff because like if I think it's a number one, like I just want your opinion. Is it great? Yes, it's great. All right, I'll give it a shot. Like when I heard Nicolas, like with the one with your Nicolas Cage, like all right, he doesn't say much. Good. I'm not a big fan of Nicolas Cage speaking, but I'll watch him beat shit up. You know, like kind of a weird mix with Muppets and stuff. There we go. A movie with Muppets. God, that's so hard to say. Yeah, I'll watch that. I don't know. Just like to me, like if I can just have a great thing where I'm like, go watch it. That's all I can say is go watch it. I think when somebody has less to say about it, it's the better.
Well, and I guess I'm the opposite. If you just say, hey, this movie is pretty good, go watch it. I'd be like, well, he doesn't sound very enthusiastic.
See, what if someone's like, oh, it was pretty good, like, okay. But when someone's like, dude, just go watch it, it's great. When they come at me with your guys' energy, how you extol upon these movies, I'm like, fuck, I really need to go watch Dune. It was like Free Guy. I kept just going, I'll rent it later. Now I have to watch Dune. Now I have to watch Free Guy. It's just things I'm going to do sooner rather than later. To me, if a movie's good, if it has that energy behind it, well, dude, just go watch it. Like, yeah, I'll go watch it. I know. I'm sorry. Like, it's just
that's all right.
I don't have many. Sorry.
That is a good anime though. The Nightmare of the Wolf. Yeah, Vesemir, kind of his youth.
It's just interesting because like it literally ties everything together. It tells the backstory of why there are not as many Witchers as there are in the world. And I just think it's a great tale to be told. You know, I mean, you kind of see the end outcome in The Witcher, but here you go. Here's how it started. Here's why there's very few Witchers in the world. So Nightmare of the Wolf.
Cool.
All right, Dash, take us home.
Oh, my number one. This is going to come this is going to be a shock to a lot of people. I didn't know much about this movie. Fuck it. It's Spider-Man No Way Home.
Yeah,
it's
I was going to say,
the best goddamn movie that I've seen in such a fucking long time. No excuse for the cursing. It is what it is. Andrew Garfield's already been on my list once. He is the reason why it is my number one movie. The man can do no wrong in my eyes. God damn it! I said that out loud. Now he's going to do something wrong. Fuck me. And Andrew Garfield, Tobey Maguire, Tom Holland, just on screen together. It was what we wanted, and we were hoping they weren't going to fuck us, but they didn't. And you're in a band and you're in the Avengers. Great. What is that? And it was just everything that we hoped it would be. And it was just amazing in my eyes. And that's why it's my number one and not my number 6, because that's weird, or not even on my list, which I don't understand. But that's why it's my number one and not y'all's. But I know there's a lot of people out there that agree with me. So I'm just saying, hey, kudos to you for having it as number one. And yeah,
it was on my list.
Well,
I said everything.
It's the bulk. Yeah.
It's the Disney everything.
Yeah. I thought it was the perfect movie to me. But
Doctor Strange is the worst Avenger. The
He's
worst.
not. He's the best Avenger.
He should have stopped that spell and be like, okay, hold on, pause. Okay,
Yeah.
hold on. How many people are we removing from this spell? Okay, before I keep going, how many more are we doing?
yeah, I mean, there was no time limit. They
Yeah.
literally could have sat down at the table and go, here, write down who you want to know.
Mhm.
I'll read this verbatim while I do the
Yep.
spell. Like,
Mhm. The other question I had was, wasn't the lizard character from Amazing Spider-Man 1, wasn't it like Andrew Garfield's like mentor, his teacher? Like he had a real connection and a relationship with that doctor,
Yeah.
and he really.
Well, then the character wasn't that big in the movie.
I remember it being somewhat big. I thought it was like his teacher.
No, in No Way Home.
I know, that's what I mean. Yeah, I kind of would have.
Yeah.
Those are my. Yeah, I won't knock your favorite movie, but that's why it's lower on my
Yeah,
list.
don't you hate it when people do that? Like,
Sorry.
you're like, it's your favorite movie, and they're like, it's a
But this
pile
is wrong.
of
But
shit.
this is wrong. I don't think it's a pile of shit. It's a great movie.
Sorry, Lord of the Rings.
I bet you'll hate Dune
No
now.
offense. No.
I bet you'll hate Dune. There's no elves in it.
Hey, you already got me. You had me at no elves.
Well, you might want to stay away from The Witcher then.
Oh, I can't.
Lots of elves. Lots of elves.
Yeah, lots of elves.
I don't know.
Now
I
there's
think
lots
I
and
might
lots of
give The
elves.
Witcher a try. Henry Cavill's got some pecs, man. I'm telling
Dude.
you what. I
Dad,
feel like Peggy Carter with Captain America. Like, what to touch it?
Dasha, I have to ask you this.
Man,
How much do you love like just sheer hatred filled violence?
I like love
Okay.
stories.
All right.
But you probably
I'm a
would like
hopeless-
him, and you would like him and Jennifer. They have a love story.
I'm a
No,
hopeless
there's-
romantic, so
Stephanie, there's a moment that I know is going to probably absolutely shock the living shit out of you in the next like 2 episodes that you're about to
don't
watch
spoil it.
of just sheer unadulterated pure hatred filled violence.
Interesting.
It
if it's done well and it's not fucking cringe, like I don't
It's
see
done really well.
it
Yeah.
The
made
special
me
effects are really good. I'm surprised how good the special
love
effects are.
Cavill. I mean, I think he's a really good actor.
it made me pause.
Yeah.
It made me pause. And
Maybe
that's
I'll
sick.
give-
I can see some shit, but I was just like, no, wait, what?
Do we have 3 seasons now, or only 2?
2.
Only 2? And how long are
And then
the-
we're getting
how many
a half
episodes?
season before that, which is the prequel.
Blood
How many
Origin.
episodes we have? Like 10?
8. 8 per season.
Okay.
So it's
Hour
8
long
hours.
or whatever.
Hour long. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can push through that.
Shit.
The first
Need
season
something
you have to
start
know that
watching.
the first season you have to know that the story is out of order. Tarantino,
Yeah.
a little bit Tarantino style.
Okay.
You have to pick
If
up
you
where it is in the story. There's clues if you put on the subtitles that
Yeah.
might help a little bit, but
so if you're watching Cavill, it's in the past, and if you're watching Siri, it's in the future.
yeah. It's kind
That's all you need to know. Cavill's past series is Cavill's past
Siri's
series
right here.
is present. Yeah, Siri's right there.
Princess Cyrilla of Sintra.
Okay,
Siri.
you're losing me now. You had me. You had me. You had
Cavill's
me.
awesome, and the Witchers are really cool. The Witchers are basically the monster plumbers of this fantasy world, killing monsters.
Why didn't you just lead with monster plumbers?
Yeah, they're
Dude.
monster plumbers.
The opening scene is going to give you
Yeah.
the opening scene's amazing.
Yeah, it'll
I don't know.
get you.
Don't read too much into it. I might watch it. I probably won't. No, but I'll need something whenever I start traveling on the weekends for competition.
There you go.
So
That'll
I
work.
need something to watch on the plane.
So speaking of the new year, it's almost the new year. I probably
Almost.
should wrap up this show so I can go to bed.
Yeah, because it's Friday.
It's Friday. It's late. Yep. It's almost
Oh my
getting near
God.
midnight.
So sleepy,
Especially when
gentlemen.
the episode comes on at 8 a.m.
Oh my God.
You know, I'm still asleep.
Dash, you should figure out the math to
Oh.
premiere it. So when it comes out, you watch it, and by the time it ends, it's midnight.
Yeah, like when you start that
doing all that.
Genesis song, I can feel it coming in the air tonight. You start at a certain time so that the drum solo comes in right at midnight.
Yeah.
Ba-bum, 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 ba-bum. No,
Yeah.
you don't know that whole funny thing? Okay, just me.
I see memes about thousands of like, if you start Forrest Gump at 10:38:52.
I've only seen the end
Yeah.
game or the Infinity War one. that if you started it at a certain time when he snaps his fingers, it goes to the new year.
Oh, interesting. Yep.
That's too much dedication for me.
Hey, when you're a fan, you're a fan.
You're a fan.
All right, let's wrap this shit up. I am Dash Michaels.
I am Stephanie.
I'm Jared in the flock.
Thank you for watching today, whatever time it is when you're watching. Make sure to like, follow, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell at SNHPOD, SNH Pod. Follow it, like it, subscribe to it. We will see you next year.
Oh, dad
joke. Make sure to check out our movie review this Monday. It is a spoiler review for the Netflix movie Don't Look Up,
which is all over social media right now. Adam McKay, shut up and let us watch the movie without your commentary. All right, there's my rant for the day.
I saw it the other day.
Let it out, sister.
Can't wait to talk about this one.
Absolutely.
I'll be watching it with you tomorrow, Stephanie. I promise.
I will see y'all later. They will see y'all later. We'll all see y'all later. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Good riddance 2021.
Cut the check.